What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Andrew. For those of you who do not know me, I'm about to be joined by Trinity the Tuck from RuPaul's Drag Race. We're doing a get ready with me video while we talk about some stuff. Feel free to hit that little time jump down below to jump straight there if you would like. I have never actually done any drag makeup. She would like for me to have my foundation, my powder, and my eyebrows ready by the time this interview starts. I don't really know quite yet what I'm doing with any of that, so I have a little bit of time here to play. Since this is my first time doing drag, I just wanted to record this a little bit here at the start, but I'm obviously going to be fast forwarding through most of that process just because I didn't really want to start this video already in like half drag. And again, I don't really know what I'm doing, so we're all going to figure that out together. I've got my glue stick, my water, my wig cap, and my comb, and I'm just going to get started. Okay, I think I'm ready, maybe. I've done my eyebrows, my foundation, my highlight, my contour. I think that's it. I don't know if she wanted me to blend or not. I've got drawn on my eyebrows. I have like 2 minutes before she's gonna get here anyways, so let's just see what she has to say about what I've done so far, and then let's see what else happens once this is all over. Hi, Trinity. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm so good. You look gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Trinity here has joined me for a fun little get ready with me video. I've never done drag makeup in full to myself before, so she's got some exciting things happening. She's going to guide me through my first little experience here while we talk about what she's got going on.
I love it.
I've glued down my oatmeal eyebrows. I'm serving you dollar store realness today. Most of what I got was on sale at the dollar store, so that's where I'm at.
But it's okay. Brands are great, and there are several brands that I absolutely love, but you can actually find some great products at the dollar store. Where a lot of people don't realize this, a lot of makeup brands have their makeup made in the same warehouses. I mean, so far, what you have on right now looks like it's in the right places. And
I tried.
So that's good.
I try. I'm living my workroom fantasy here right now in this little half drag, half contour thing when we get serious about everything. So I think I'm going to start out maybe blending in my contour and my highlight. Is that correct? Because I think you've already done that.
Yeah, so if you can't see me very well, I'm in my lighting. I've already put on my foundation, did the highlight underneath my cheeks, the bridge of my nose, forehead, contour. These were all cream products.
Okay.
I blended those out. I set it with powder, and then I went in with my powder contour and powder blush. So that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
You have powdered yet, or you're just at
I have powdered. Yeah, so I've powdered. I have this this like translucent powder that I've been putting on kind of after every applique as things are drying. And then I have my contour and my highlight that I drew on. I just haven't blended them out yet, but I have the brushes for them, highlight and contour.
So for future reference,
okay,
always all of your cream products first before you eat powder.
Okay.
Because once you powder, it will be so hard for you to blend. So that's your first lesson. But now that we're here and you're doing that, you have it set in the right spot, like the contour. Now you just got to blend it out. So I would suggest doing your dark contour first. Then blend out from there. And then if you need more light highlight, you can to balance it out.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna get started on that real quick, but I'm gonna ask you first question because I know that recently Trinity turned 21. So while this is my first time, my little inner drag queen, her name is Ms. Bacca. It's short for Mrs. Chewbacca because I'm a hairy queen. So we're gonna meet her for the first time together, but I would love to hear about your first time doing drag, dressing in drag, going out in public.
My first actual time in drag where I did it proper, I was dared to do it by this little bitty drag queen who was a cheerleader. And they had just started drag and they're like, you're so skinny and you would be the perfect drag queen. Not that skinny makes you like a good drag queen, but that's how they like worded it. And so I was like, you know what? I'll let you do my makeup. I'll do it because you dared me to do it, but I didn't want to do it. And I did. And I lost because I did a talent competition, like a Thursday night talent competition where you win money. I didn't win. And I'm a very competitive person. So I had to do it till I won. So I did it 2 more times until I won. And at that point I was hooked. That was my first experience, but the makeup was awful. It was atrocious.
Oh no. So
Yeah.
what I'm hearing is that your first time doing drag was not with a RuPaul All-Stars winner and 3-time competitor on the show. And
No, no, I didn't meet my drag mother till maybe a year and a half of doing drag. So at that point, I kind of had an idea on how to do my makeup and stuff. Yeah, you have to learn from either the other queens that were there or, figure out yourself. And so it was a trial and error for a while. A while.
I mean, if you had never fallen like into this drag world, what do you think you would have done instead?
Drag kind of did save me. Like, it kind of gave me a purpose. It kind of pointed me in the direction of what I found that I was good at, because all through my adolescence and high school, I just didn't think I was good at anything. I had no idea really what I wanted to do. I had like thought about maybe if I went to college, I'd be a zoologist, or I thought about maybe a graphic designer, but I was never like passionate about any of that. And then when I started drag and I fell in love with it, I was like, this is what I'm meant to do. This is probably still what I would have been doing had I not been as successful as I am, because I love to do it.
Well, I think I might have blended this out a little bit.
Go ahead and powder.
All right.
We'll move on to your powder contours and blush.
Righty. I would love, because we're about to talk about all your music and all the things that are coming up, but we met you in season 9 as Trinity Taylor. You came back in All Stars 4 as Trinity the Tuck. I would love to know a little bit about what that metamorphosis was like, or what the final decision kind of became for you to change your name and go by that.
My name has not really changed per se. Like, I still go by Trinity Taylor.
Okay.
I haven't dropped Taylor. I just use a nickname, quote unquote, like Trinity the Tuck. Some people call me Trinity Taylor. Some people call me Trinity the Tuck. Some people call me Trinity the Tuck Taylor. I've been called all those, and let me tell you, I've been called worse. So I'm okay with all of that. What this name change is, it's branding. It's just branding. And RuPaul likes a queen who brands herself. One of my friends actually named me Trinity the Tuck. It kind of just stuck when they were like, hey, this is what you should go by. And I was like, you know what? That's smart. And I took it and just went on to All Stars with it. And it's been a brand.
Well, I mean, regardless of your name, you've definitely done a great job, making a name for yourself, whether in or out of, RuPaul, because obviously you've done so many things outside of that as well, one of which is your upcoming EP Sinematic. So let's switch gears here and talk about some of that, because I have had my little sneak peek of that. I have listened to it a multiple of times already. So you just released Til Death Becomes Us, like officially to the world, with that awesome ass music video. I want to hear a little bit about how that all kind of came to be.
So the formulation of Sinematic, and what's crazy is, so yesterday I uploaded the album art, which is me with a wig that has hair horns, and I'm tied to a capital T.
Okay.
And it is kind of like God, like Jesus on a cross, but I'm not on a cross. I'm not being crucified. I'm being tied up. So it's not it's an artistic interpretation of that. But when people saw that, they had their visceral reactions. Like, either they loved it and thought it was really creative, or they thought I was like blasphemous and making fun of their religion. And that's kind of the point. Drag is artistic. Art is subjective, and it's supposed to make you feel something regardless of what you feel. All of these emotions drag does to people and art does to people. And that was the point of this album. I grew up Southern Baptist. It was do what I say, but not what I do. And they tell you one thing and do the exact same thing they tell you not to do. And I just didn't like the double standard. What I was taught from my grandmother who raised me, God is love. Mm-hmm. But what I remember taking away from any experience at church, that was not the case. It was always condemnation. And this is not all Christian. This is the religious extremists. I don't believe that the God that supposedly created all of us and it, is not a God of love. And so this album, I wanted to do something that I could put my feelings into as an artistic escape and show that side of what it is. It's not me proclaiming that I'm a devil worshiper or anything to do with demonic anything. It's not that at all. With that being said, I wanted to do a 7 Deadly Sins theme. And so each song has a sin theme. Death Becomes Her, or Until Death Becomes Us, is based off of Death Becomes Her, the movie, which those two characters were envious of each other. So that sin is envy. And I really love each song for the way you can listen to it, and you won't even know necessarily that it's about a sin. But if you see it all together, you get the concept.
Yes, I very much do. And honestly, I was also raised around all of that religious stuff. So I definitely understand your perspective on that and where you've come from. Doing something like this project must have felt, cathartic in some way to tap into some of that and really express yourself.
I think we're made to feel like God doesn't love us. And, I know a lot of queer people who are religious. I am all for anyone believing whatever they want to believe, as long as they're not hurting anyone. Just let me believe what I want to believe, which is nothing. One great thing about growing up religious that I do take with me to this day is having a moral compass. I just think the world would be much better if we led with a moral compass rather than a condemnation punishment to those who are not like us. Kindness and love really should be leading us, not hate and the wrath of whatever the God is.
Yeah, I totally agree. So moving on from that, what do we got next here on our faces going on before we continue on?
Contour.
I do.
Okay. So
I don't have a powder contour. I've only got this draw on lipstick type contour.
Okay. So that you already did, and I would put on more of it. What eyeshadows do you have? Do you have
I have two different. I have got these eyeshadows and then these eyeshadows, because these green ones are more of what you use.
Is there a taupe-ish color in there?
I think so, yeah. Like a bluer?
No, it's almost brown or a gray.
Oh, yeah. This one right here. There's a brown.
Yes, and these are not creams, right?
No.
Okay, perfect. Take one of your brushes. I use a fluffy brush, and don't judge me by my brushes. These are old, but I use a brush.
Okay.
And you're going to take your contour. See, I use, and this is old, I use a brownish taupey color.
Okay.
And you're going to take some on there. So you dip it in that eyeshadow. And then always start at the back of your cheek, because if you put too much, you can blend out going forward. So tap right at the top of your ear here, going in the direction of that, but not too much. Start right there and just bring it down a little bit.
Okay.
Not too much. That might be too much.
Might be a little too much. I tried.
But no, don't dip anymore.
I'm not dipping. I was tapping this, try to get some more off. Okay, I got this. So I really did love your video for Till Death Becomes Us. It was really, really well done. I know we had talked about it was really one of the higher productions that you've done. I'm wondering about how you landed on Jujubee, how you cast for all of that. I know we had Kylie Sonique in there as well with Peppermint. So what was the process kind of getting all of that together?
I'm so fortunate. This project was, even though it was extremely expensive, I got everything that I wanted from it. The casting, every single person that I asked to be part of this, they agreed. From Jujubee, who is the feature on the track. And then I got Brad, who's beautiful. He looks just like a hot Bruce Willis. So Peppermint's part in it is kind of the idea was, remember in Mean Girls where they did the three-way call?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the concept of that.
That makes sense.
Not too exact, but it was our idea to have this friend who was both of our friend, but she kind of was in the middle of it all. And I was like, Peppermint's the perfect person for this because she's everybody's friend. Literally in life, she's everybody's friend. And then the Isabella Rossellini character, we needed somebody that had body, that was sexy. And who else is that other than Kylie Sonique?
Kylie Sonique Love. Body.
An epitome of that. She's what I wish, she's what I think I look like on it. Okay. She's she's like the filtered version of me. Okay. When I go in there, I'm like cinching the waist and I'm making the hips bigger and I'm pinching the nose and I'm airbrushing my skin. That's what she looks like every day. Okay. So we got her. She said yes. I just got everybody that I wanted, and it was just fabulous.
So I do have my theories on which sin is which off of this little EP because I have listened to it. You've already now confirmed that Till Death Becomes Us is NV, which I was right about, so that makes me happy. But I kind of, while I was listening to it and putting this together, I sort of opened the reading room a little bit to assign for each of us who would be which sin based on your songs. I'm wondering if you'd be interested in hearing what I've come up with to see if I'm at least even right about what sin is what.
Yes, please.
All right. Well, so Miss Jesus Christ is pride. And that is all you, my love, because you're a narcissistic bitch and I love you so much and I wouldn't have it any other way. Money mad is greed. And I will take that one because as I told you, I'm serving you dollar store realness today. And a bitch over here needs some money, some green, throw it my way. I will take it all. Give it up is lust. And I feel we can share that one because I'm sure we're both equally thirsty hoes. Till Death Becomes Us is envy, as you said. I'm a jealous bitch, so I'm going to take that one over here for myself. Let them eat cake is gluttony. That is all you because you got that body, you got that cake. Detonate is anger. And in a real talk, that is me. That is what I struggle with the most in my life. I write about it in my books. It is like a topic that I really focus in on and I really like truly connect to detonate. And then Sleeping Beauty would then be sloth. I'm a lazy bitch. I'm gonna take that one. And I'm also gonna take that because if I gave it to you, we'd be equal. And like I said, I'm a greedy bitch. So I need to make sure I have some more at the end of this here.
I love it. You got all of them right.
Did I get them all right? I love that. Okay. That's the most important part.
You're correct. Drew, who is the producer of this album, he actually produced my Trinity Ruins Christmas musical album over the holiday.
That. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun.
And he did a great job with that, but he's such a pop princess. Like, and he knows how to basically vocal train you, like to help you get the best vocals for you. Because if you notice in my other albums, I do mostly like drag rap.
Yeah.
This I'm actually singing.
I was gonna say there was a vocal like upgrade in this.
That was all thanks to Drew. Drew really pushed me to actually sing because that's something I'm very self-conscious about because I know that I'm not a vocalist. I love to do music, but I know I'm not a vocalist. But he really did push me to get there. And I'm talking about some of these are really high vocals. All of the background vocals that you hear, all the high-pitched everything, even in Till Death Becomes Us, that's all me. All of those are me. And thank you to him for really pushing me. And obviously there's auto-tune, but he really did get me there. Let's do two things. We're going to do blush and do brows.
Blush and brows.
Yes. So take your blush.
I
tend to go with like an orange blush a lot.
Okay.
But you can go pink. You can go more red tone. You can apricot, whatever.
What about these ones?
Okay.
Here?
Use the pinker one at the bottom.
This one?
Yeah.
Cool. That was the one I used earlier too, so I'm glad that I made the correct choice.
For those who want inexpensive but very pigmented palettes, this is by Kimchi.
Like the Kimchi?
The Kimchi, and it has a bunch of colors in it. I mainly use this as blush, but I also love it as the eyeshadow. This is super pigmented. Okay. And she has an orange, yellow palette and a green palette. And then she has a ton of other stuff too online. And then I think you can find some of her products in CVS's in different places. For drag makeup, like it's great quality. It's not like she just bought something from somewhere else and slapped her name on it. Like these are actually really good pigmented eyeshadows.
I love that. And the blush is just for the cheeks right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just doing it on the apples and going upwards. And then I do a little bit on the tip of my nose, not too much little tip, because I like it to have some color.
Back to your album real quick. What is your favorite new track / favorite sin that is off of this album?
I have two that are tied, and the sounds are very different. My absolute favorite song from the album is Miss Jesus Christ. That is the next single that's released with the album on June 1st. And has a really cool music video that's a complete departure from Till Death Becomes Us. It's pride. It's all about being the perfect person. That's kind of what drag is. You know, you're portraying this perfect character, and it's all about the look. It's all about vanity. And that's what this song is about. It's about pride. And then my second favorite song off of the album is Give It Up. I like it because it's a little bit more fun, a little bit more loose. The lyrics are hot. It also leans heavily into like hookup culture, and you know, you're not there for love, you're there to, you know, get it on. I also think it's like the song kind of sounds like something Jason Derulo would sing. It has like a disco-y-ish kind of sound to it. So I really like that one. But my favorite song from all of this stuff is not even going to be on this album. It's going to be on the deluxe album. It's a whole new song called 666 Sex. It is a group song where I'm going to be debuting a new girl group.
Okay.
A new drag girl group. And
I love this.
We'll save that for
And we'll save, okay, we will save that.
I'm going to tell you is a bop. It is fierce.
I love that so much.
So now let's move on to brows.
Okay.
So brows, you're going to take an angle brush or just a smaller brush. Like
I do have a brow brush.
You do perfect. It's angle, right?
And then I've got this. Yeah. So I've got, this was what I did with the glue. And then this is what I'll do to.
Perfect. So you take your brush, you're going to go in with a brown or taupe or black or whatever the color is closest to it. And I tend to, even though I cover my brows, I still start about where my natural brow would start.
Okay.
I go high, like I follow basically the top of where my brow grows. And I go out to about right past the pupil. And then that's where you're going to arch it.
Okay. I'm probably going to serve you some ex-boyfriends today, but
that's okay. Let's just cousins today.
So you mentioned that the next Miss Jesus Christ will be coming out on June 1st. Is that when you're dropping the rest of the EP as well, or?
Yes. So you'll get the entire album on June 1st. The music video is about even though it says Miss Jesus Christ, it's not religious at all, like the music video. It's based around a mad scientist who is in the pursuit of the perfect human. So she clones herself, and there's like this whole warehouse of clones of her that they all have something wrong with them. So she just discards them in the warehouse. And then in the middle of this next clone, the clone wakes up and like bashes her over the head and then escapes into this warehouse where all of these other clones are. So the story is the clone is trying to escape. That's all I'm going to tell too much of. But it's very visual. It's beautiful. I'm already performing Till Death Becomes Us. I have a solo version that I travel with, and that will also be on the deluxe version of the album. Is just my solo version, but I'm touring with that, and I'm also already, if you find me in a show before June 1st, you probably will hear Miss Jesus Christ, because I'm touring both of those right now.
Where are you living right now?
I'm based in Orlando.
You're in Florida. Okay.
Yeah, I bought a house here about 5 or 6 years ago, and I hardly work in Orlando, and I kind of love it that way.
I'm going to pivot a little bit away from your music and talk about your hit movie Slay, because, well, first of all, that's actually kind of what landed us here in the first place, because I wrote that little thing about pride and then we found each other and, you know, now we're here. But I would love to hear a little bit about how that motion picture came together, how you were approached for it, like how it all happened, because I really did enjoy it. It was super fun and super campy, and like that was like what I would picture as your dream role, with like how much you just got to scream and have a great time and fuck around.
When I was approached to do Slay, it was like, what? Like, you want me to be in a horror movie as a drag queen? Yes. Like, this is I absolutely love, if all of my friends know, I love horror. I love horror movies. I don't know that I would necessarily picked my name as Mama Souffle, Probably something a little bit more sexy and youthful, but that's the beauty of acting. You get a character, you got to lean into it. All of my stunts I did myself. I did not have a stunt double.
Wow.
It was just such a fun project. Jim, who is the writer and director of the movie, is this beautiful and extremely humble and sweet trans non-binary person who is from Canada, and they were a dream to work with. Like they knew exactly what they wanted from each of us. They were able to guide us. I mean, like, they were the epitome of what a director should be, and made you feel comfortable. And if you weren't comfortable, they would get you there. And I loved working with Jim. And Jim is in talks with possibly doing part 2.
Okay, so I was gonna ask, and I called it a slakeable, so I didn't know if that was gonna be too cheesy or not. But I was gonna ask if there was gonna be a slakeable.
I would love there to be a sequel, because one, it was such a fun project, but two, they film in South Africa, which is,
wow,
Cape Town is my favorite city on earth. It was just such a good time. Everybody was super sweet. I loved going to work every single day, even when we had to be in drag at 6 a.m.
That is early.
It was, the days were long, but you loved every minute of it, because it was just such a fantasy and just so cool. I would love to do more acting. As a drag queen, it's kind of hard to break into, but I loved it.
You kind of found your comedy queen side on season 9 of RuPaul. Is that correct?
I think season 9 was what affirmed my comedy. I'm always humorous with my friends and stuff, but like before Drag Race, I took drag way too serious, because I was pageant queen, and pageant queens, that's what they do. Everything is detailed. Everything is cross all your T's, dot all your I's. Everything's got to be perfect. Everything is in a box. It's so structured and meticulous. And that's a great form of drag. But Drag Race is not that. And threw me through a loop as soon as I was there. With Drag Race, either you get thrown into the deep end and you swim, or you are going to drown. So immediately, as soon as I got there, because I thought when I got there, I was like, oh, I've got this all planned out. I know exactly how this is gonna go. I'm gonna slay everything. And then when you get there, that's all out the window, because it's not scripted. It's not planned out, and anything can happen, and anything did happen. And so when I would get these acting roles, it was like, okay, do I want to play this as like a serious role, or do I want to be stupid and just make Ru laugh? And that's what I had to end up doing, is just letting it all go out the window, not worried if I'm pretty or not. RuPaul wants a clown. That's what she wants. Okay, so the next thing is you're going to do your crease color. I have 2 palettes that I go to. Okay. Both are from Anastasia. This is one of my favorite brands, Anastasia Beverly Hills. They have, for everyday makeup for a woman, it is great. For guy or non-binary that wears makeup every day, it's great. But for drag, it is fantastic. Like, they have pigment, they have full coverage, they have everything. So if you are looking for a one-stop shop for getting all of your drag makeup, I suggest Anastasia. They have great eyeshadows. This is a great palette because it has a lot of different shades.
I have a similar, I have these reds, and then I've got these. I've got these as my option.
And I also have this. This is my other favorite palette. This is Norvina's collection in Anastasia. So Norvina is Anastasia's daughter, and she's over the creative of Anastasia now. And also another sweetheart. Love her to death. But this palette, you can see it's used, but look how beautiful this is. So you're going to pick a crease color. I tend to go with either an orange, a form of red, like a burgundy or something, or a taupe. Okay. So I'm going to let you choose the color.
Sure. Should I use my detail brush, or should I use my eye smudge brush?
Use whatever's fluffier at first.
Okay, got it.
And which color are you going to go with?
I think I'm going to choose this sparkly red.
Okay, so we'll go with a red. I have something kind of like it, but it's not sparkly, but that's fine. So take your fluffier brush, and you're going to do like a swiping motion. So like, I'm going to pick this up so you can see. So you're going to go, and you're going to go from the edge of your crease up to around where the brow is and down. Back so you can see.
You are so awesome for doing this. As a side note, like this is just so much fun to do.
Am I the drag mother? Is it?
I think so. I do think so. You will have become that by the end of this, especially. But yes, you are my drag mother, Miss Tuck, and I would not change that.
There's no pressure to this, especially if in your first time. If you're serious about wanting to get better with drag, all it is just practice. And at the end of the day, this is just makeup. Don't put so much pressure on yourself either to be perfect your first couple of tries, because you're still learning.
Yeah.
And so practice makes perfect, and you don't have to be a carbon copy of anybody. You can make your own character.
So on the topic of RuPaul, I would love to ask you a couple of questions about that, if that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, one really big question that I have every single time that I watch the show is how long does it actually take for Ru to make a decision after a lip sync?
In my experience of doing it 3 times, it varies.
Okay.
If there's a clear winner, she's very quick. But sometimes it's not as clear of a clear-cut winner. And so RuPaul has been known to leave the judges' table, which you don't see, to go confer with the producers or whomever, or to rewatch it back to make a decision. The chosen winner could be, for me, different reasons. It could be because one person slightly did better than the other. It could be that one person did better actually lip syncing. It also could, and this is just me guesstimating, it also could be because of storyline. It is a reality show, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, they're making good TV.
Well, that's fair. I also would love to know how all of you pack everything, because y'all have some really elaborate stuff that you bring along with you to the show. I can't even fit like a sun hat into a suitcase.
I think my journey with costumes and packing for Drag Race has evolved. My first season, when you first go, you are scared of everything. You don't want to make the producers mad or anything like that. And they tell you you only have X amount of suitcases at X amount of size, at X amount of weight. You follow that because you don't want anybody mad. And so that's what I did for season 9. I also didn't have a lot of money. I only spent $2,000 total on what I took to the show. And a lot of it I made myself and pulled from my own closet. And you can tell my budget was small because it just wasn't up to par to what I brought on All Stars. Then on All Stars 4, you want to bring bigger silhouettes and stuff. And then for All Stars 7, I had done it 2 times already. So I was like, look, they wanted us to have all of these things. They want us to be the most grand it's ever been. And they were only allowing us 6 suitcases. And I was like, girl, there's no way. There's no way. My purple dress that I wore on the first episode that had the longest that's ever been on Drag Race, that wouldn't even fit. Luckily, the designer was in LA. That wouldn't even fit in any kind of container. We had to get a 20 by 20 tarp and fold it in there and transport it in a tarp because it would not fit in any kind of box or suitcase or anything. So I ended up, when they picked me up, they told us 6 suitcases. I had 12. And I said, look, you want big, you want a show, here it is, take it or leave it. They want us to deliver big things, and you need to give us something, you know?
I do know exactly what you mean. Okay. I don't know how I've quite done. I think I've overshadowed maybe a little bit.
No, it's not bad. I mean, you have a big eye space, so you did. Yeah, for your first time, that's not bad. You're gonna cover a lot of that up with eyelashes anyway. Your next thing is you're gonna want to do eyeliner.
I have these. This is the Dumbo one.
Oh, I love that. I love that one by NYX.
Yeah, and then I've got another Pearl World. This is like a double. This is like a white side and a black side.
Bigger one.
Bigger one.
Other thing about that one is I've used it for, it's very creamy.
Okay.
And once you line it, if it looks messy, you can take a dense brush and kind of smudge it a little bit, and it'll look like a smoke.
Okay.
A smoky eye. I'm not using that. I'm using something that's like a marker almost.
Okay, yeah, I saw that in your list.
Yeah, it's also by NYX, but eyeliners it's subjective to what you want. I've used that one before and I like it. I like right now I'm in the mood for a liner that's a marker. What you're going to want to do is you're going to go from the inner eye waterline across your lash line to the end. Now, if it's not straight, like I said, take a dense brush and smudge it a little bit, and it'll.
And we start on the top lid before we do the bottom?
I do not do liner on the bottom.
Okay.
We'll use a shadow for that. I just start on the inner corners, and then I work my way down across.
Obviously, we just talked a little bit about all three of the times that you were on the show with what you brought and how you brought it. I am wondering a little bit about, though, when you did win with Monet, did you find out at the time of filming that happened, or did you guys find out later on?
We did not know there was going to be a double crown. We did not even know that was an option because we did not film that. We got our makeup done at World of Wonder headquarters. That's where they tape a lot of their shows. And there was a bar literally across the street from World of Wonder that we did the viewing at. And I had my boyfriend at the time with me, like dressing me, and Patty, who is Monet's assistant, who also was her makeover in All Stars 4, was there with her. And both of them had found out on social media, because they took our phone, but they didn't take their phone. They found out on social media before we even did the crowning that it was a tie. But because there was staff around us, they couldn't tell us. And I was wondering why my boyfriend at the time, why he was so nervous. And it was because of that. Neither one of us knew that there was going to be a tie. And the way that in this club, the screen was so up high, I was like killing my neck to look. And there wasn't loudspeakers. It was not loudspeakers. I could barely hear. I'm hard of hearing anyway because I listen to music very, very loud. And when they announced the winner, I couldn't understand because everybody in the club was cheering and I couldn't hear. I was confused. I didn't know what she said. I was like, what's happening? It was showing both of us. And so I just was confused. And then RuPaul said, you both get $100,000. And I was like, what did she say? What did she say? And Monet was like, we both won. And then I was like, oh, yay. At first, me and Monet have both talked about this. That night, we were both very bitter. Because we're both very competitive and we didn't think a tie was the win. So that went on with us for a couple of months. And it wasn't so much I was mad at her, she was mad at me. We were just upset at the process. We didn't really cross paths too much that year. Like she had her own reign, I had my own reign. We had our own crowns, we had our own scepters, we had our own money. It was just not only that, but then I started thinking about it more and like, what better way to celebrate a win for queer people than to have two? You have a Black person and a white person equal on a stage that is international. And in that time, that's what we needed. We needed that. And if you think about it, I feel like I beat her mostly in the season. To me, this is my own opinion. I feel like I beat her in the season, but I think she beat me in that final lip sync. It was a tie. It was. We both won the season for different reasons. Monet is such a good person. We toured together since then. I just love her. I think she's great. So next to our mascara.
Okay.
Oh, wait. No. Wait. Let's do our liner first. I do my mascara first and then my liner, but it'll be easier for you to do your liner. So take some sort of brush that's smaller or your angled brush.
Okay.
And I tend to do a color underneath my eye. I don't do black or brown. I'll do a color. So take whatever color you want and start on the outside, like closest to your lash line. And I'll show you. It's like that.
Okay, cool.
And you're not going to go all the way across. You're going to go about halfway. And you're going to taper inward towards where the inside closest to your nose. But don't go all the way because that just closes off your eye.
So when you are all getting ready in the workroom, like how long on average does that take? What's your call time? How long are you on set? Like what is an experience in a day-to-day kind of like on that show?
So they pick you up really early in the morning, like I would say like 6:45, 7 in the morning. You're supposed to be in your out of drag look for the day, walk into the workroom with your makeup and everything ready at that time. Then you get to set. You can't go on set until a certain time when all the cameras are ready. But there's like a secondary holding space for y'all to hang out with. They'll get you breakfast, you have coffee, Red Bull, whatever it is that you want. Then you go into the workroom. You'll do your mini challenges and stuff. But when you're actually getting in drag, you have about an hour and a half to 2 hours to get fully in your look. And that's a normal
amount of time. And then where do you guys stay?
We're at a hotel. It's generally not in the same area that we filmed. They switch up the hotels every year, so who knows where we're now, but it's usually about a 30-minute drive one way.
But, I mean, and do you all like interact with each other outside of filming?
Everything is very monitored. What they end up doing is they'll end up at night after you get back to the hotel and they'll order everybody food from like restaurants, like good food, and they'll allow you to eat in the hallway, like sitting in the hallway and chat with each other. You just can't talk about story, nothing about what's on set. And then at that time, like especially for All Stars, we're all business people. We all have stuff, emails we have to do, podcasts, stuff we have to answer, and they'll let you do that then in front of them.
Okay, because they have like your phone usually, right? Like you don't usually have like
phones. You're not allowed to have a phone. They'll have that all locked away, but they'll let you get into it at the end of the day, or if there's an emergency or something like that, you have to get stuff. They don't restrict you from getting your business done that you need to get done. It's just supervised. The next thing is we're going to do mascara. I tend to like a very, very black mascara, and they have different gradients of black. And then I like a big, thick bristle. Like it can't be like a tiny one. I also don't like the plastic combs. I like one that has like the old school mascara wands, but just really fluffy.
Okay.
And then you're going to do your top mascara first on both eyes. You can't get it off.
It looks like this. It's like melted in here. And it's like a really like tarry.
Oh, like, really?
Gluey like substance.
I've never seen that. I don't know that I trust that for your eyeball.
Okay. So maybe I should skip the mascara?
No, skip mascara. And you know, some drag mascara. Some drag queens just put their lash on.
I guess that is what happens when you literally buy it 20% off at the dollar store.
Been expired or air got air. I just wouldn't trust it. So don't mascara. But...
All right. We'll skip the mascara for this time then.
And so now you're going to do your lips. Let's do your lips. Okay. Because in this process, you do your mascara, let that set, and then you'll do your... So what
with lips, do we do liner first or do we do... Okay.
I take liner first. So take your liner and I do my bottom lip first. You want to overdraw just slightly.
Okay.
Outside of your natural lip line. Don't go crazy unless that's the look you're going for.
I don't think that's quite. So I'll see what happens. So out of all of the times that you have been on the RuPaul show, obviously every time is different, but I'm wondering if you either have a favorite experience or if you could rank them how you would.
My experience. Okay, so I think even though I won on All Stars 4, I think All Stars 7 was my favorite. All Stars 4 was my second favorite, and season 9 was my third favorite. Okay. My favorite memory from each, or my favorite experience from each, I would say All Stars 7. I think my favorite from All Stars 7 was the sewing challenges, because each time that I did that, the judges were gagging at like what I made. For All Stars 4, obviously when I won was my favorite. And then season 9, my favorite part of season 9 was doing the pilot challenge where I got to be Sister Mary Kay.
Oh my God. And you brought her back in your Christmas album.
Yeah. I try to reinvigorate each character that like resonated with people.
And season 9 was also, I believe, it was the first season that was on VH1. Is that correct? So what was that like? Because I'm sure there was maybe a little bit of added pressure because that was kind of a switch from Logo.
Well, when we filmed it, We were under the impression it was going to be on Logo.
Oh.
Didn't find out until it was airing, like when
it was on VH1.
That it was going to be on VH1. We had no idea. Yeah.
Wow.
So the pressure wasn't really too much there for that. It was like any other season until it was airing, and then until the finale. The finale was the first one of its kind.
Yeah.
So that was where the added pressure was, because we didn't have anything to pull from as far as like what to expect.
Yeah. And that was an insane live finale, like the first time. I mean, I have to be honest, I've only actually been watching RuPaul for about 3 years now. I'm just like so obsessed. I'm so obsessed, seeing everything. And yeah, so that season 9 finale was like so epic, and I really love that switch, because I think it's one of the best ways to like really close it out nowadays. It's like so good.
Yeah, it's so good, so good. Okay, so now you're gonna do your lips, lip gloss, your lip color. One thing that I love, and I got in each season that I did Drag Race, because Anastasia has been the makeup sponsor each year that I was there. Their lip colors are so fantastic, and they're long wear. They have every freaking kind of color and finish you would ever want. I'm using like a neutral-ish color today, but they have everything. I love the way it goes on and the way that it wears, and the color of how bright or how pigmented each color is. This is like a neutral color. I either go a bright color red or a neutral color with my lips for some reason.
I chose this current red that I have right now based on your look from Till Death Becomes Us, that red. That was
it's a fierce red.
So you were talking about the sewing challenges, and I guess being your favorite. Do you have any other type of favorite challenges? Or I'm also really curious about Snatch Game, how that goes, how you chose all of your characters for that. So I would love to talk about that for just a second as well.
Sure. So my other favorite challenges would be like the acting challenges, not the improv, like the actual scripted acting challenges, because if you get a funny character or a fun character, you can literally make it your own. And I've had so much fun with a lot of the acting challenges, from Sister Mary Coots to the mom in 90210, to Samantha in the Sex and the Kitty Girl acting challenge we had to do. Oh, even in All-Star 7, Satan's School for Girls, where
funny.
I played the stupid, like, almost like Karen from Mean Girls character. Like, she's really dumb. I loved it. It was so fun to play. As far as Snatch Game goes, as much as I'm good at it, it is nerve-wracking. To me, it's not fun, because it's the most iconic challenge. And if you do not do good, people will talk about you constantly. Luckily, I did do good in all 3, and I won 2 of the 3. But the reason why I chose the different characters, so I wanted to do Amanda. First of all, I'm obsessed with Amanda Lepore. I think she is a goddess. For season 9, I wanted to do Caitlyn Jenner, and they told me no. When All Stars 4 came around, I wanted to do Caitlyn Jenner again, and they told me no. They were like, it's too controversial. Right before we left to go film, they called me back, and they were like, look, somebody else wants to do Caitlyn Jenner, so we're going to allow you to bring that character, and you and that other person can duke it out to figure out who gets to do it. And I was like, oh, okay, so now that it's a storyline, you're going to let me do it. Anyway, that whole tiff between me and Gia was planned by Gia. Gia told me as soon as, like, when we got there and she found out what character I was doing, she's like, girl, you can do it, but we need to make good TV, so play it up. Caitlyn, first of all, she's a horrible human being, and a horrible representation of trans people in media. She's super privileged, and I can't say anything nice about her. I want to get those facts out there. Just because I did her for Snatch Game does not mean I like her. In fact, that's why you don't see me on Twitter anymore, because I got banned for suggesting that she throw herself in front of a bus. They said that I was threatening violence, and I was like, no, I didn't say I was going to push her. I was suggesting she do it. Obviously, I don't want her to off herself, but, she's a terrible person. Then on All-Star 7, we find out we have to do 2 Snatch Games. I ended up going with Leslie Jordan, because to me, Leslie's character is like a really old version of me. And then the devil, I chose that character because one, we were allowed to do historical stuff or imagination stuff that's not copywritten. That was the year that they started letting us do stuff like that. The previous year, there was this Reddit drama that came about that people were blaming me for something that I didn't do. And I was like, I've got to reclaim this, because if you're going to call me that, then I need to play that. So I ended up playing a devil character, and you kind of have to do that. You kind of have to reclaim things. And it worked, and I won. I think the biggest thing with Snatch Game is not necessarily about if you look exactly like them or sound just like them or say something that's just like them. It's just be funny. Find a character that you can actually make your own personality and your own comedy. So next up, there's two more things we're going to do. Okay. We're going to do highlight, and then we're going to do our lashes. Okay. So next thing is look at your eyeshadows and find you. So I'm using this Anastasia highlight palette. Okay. And in this, there's 4 different highlights. Look in your blush thing. I think I saw there was a highlight. Yeah. So that gold is golden. Okay. So your finger, I would just use your finger, and you're going to rub on that, and then you're going to do, I always call this a perch. Some people call it duck lips. And yeah, and then you're going to rub this right on the apple and go up a little bit on your cheek. This is the highlight. What I like about a highlight is on stage, it just picks up the light. Also, it helps blend anything that's imperfect. And then I always do a little dot on the tip of my nose, just right on the tip right there. And that's all you have to do with highlights. Before Drag Race, I never did highlight. It wasn't until I met the highlight queen, Pheromone, that I started using highlight. And she's absolutely gorgeous. I don't like her, but but I think she's absolutely gorgeous, and she definitely knows makeup.
I do have a tiny bit of a shady question.
Sure.
I was watching season 9 with my partner. We had noticed that Rue did not do drag in the first episode. We noticed that in the second episode, it wasn't necessarily the best that she's ever looked. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh yeah, well, Raven started in episode 3 of season 9. And I was wondering if you had any insight on what it was like when Raven took over.
That was definitely behind
the scenes. Yeah.
We were not aware of anything that was happening because you don't really see Raven too much on the set.
Right.
And we all did notice that RuPaul was not in drag the first episode, and we all did notice that RuPaul did not look like the normal RuPaul for the second episode. And then we all noticed a huge jump in her makeup for the third episode.
Her runway, she walked down licking her lips and smiling. It was like a total transformation.
What happened, apparently, this is all like speculation,
sure.
Something happened with her original makeup artist where either they got let go or there was drama or something. I don't exactly know what that was. There was a reason why that person exited out of doing RuPaul's makeup. And then in the frantic aftermath of that, because RuPaul did not have a backup makeup artist, because that person did her makeup and her hair. While they're trying to find a new hair and makeup person, RuPaul had to style her own hair and do her own makeup the second episode. And then that's when they brought in Raven and Delta.
And Raven does a great job. She truly does do an incredible job. All right, so we've got this highlight. What do we got next step?
The last step is your lashes. What do you have for your glue?
I have this. It's the adhesive that came with it.
Okay, so you can definitely use that. So you're going to use that. I use Weave Bond.
Okay.
It's basically like a latex. And what it does, it's super quick drying. So in the you decide to do more drag, go to your local wig beauty supply store, and this is like 99 cents. And I generally just take off the lid and I dip the end of my brush, not the brush part, but the tip of it in there. And this dries, it adheres quickly. So what I would do for you is I would put a little bit along the
lash line.
Yeah, along the lash line. These are old lashes, but we're using those today. Once you do that, set it aside, because I know lash glue takes a little bit to dry, longer than this does. So you're going to want to let it sit for a second.
This will probably be the funniest little part of this is me trying to figure out how to put these on my actual eyes.
It's not too bad once you get used to it. It's definitely going to take you some time to get used to.
So I'm drinking a little bit of tequila right now. So I have the idea for the title segment is drinking the tea, Kiki with so-and-so.
Yep. I love that.
So that is currently what's going on. But I don't know if there's any other queen out there that is as awesome as you. I would agree.
But we can try.
We sure can. I mean, because genuinely, like, you're all, like, you included, but, like, all of you are so talented. You have so much talent. It's insane. What you all stand for, what you represent, like, all of it is insane. And it's beautiful. And I've got eyelashes falling off over here.
This is the best part. You're definitely going to learn what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, both of them fell off. Oh, no.
But you get the point. You get the point.
I do.
So I would suggest this is called Super Hair Bond Glue. And it's just liquid latex, basically. And it dries super quick. And you can see how quickly, like on my eyes right here, like they went on super quick.
So fast.
Do you have a wig?
I do. It's a terrible wig, but I do have a wig.
I'll put on the wig. Step out of the frame really quick.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me see if yours is so much better than mine. I'm serving you the Kurt Cobain realness.
That's big. You better have the only blonde Kurt Cobain.
Yes. And so like I said earlier, so this is Miss Bacca. That is my little inner drag queen. She's named after Chewbacca because I'm hairy. So Mrs. Chewbacca is her full name, but then Ms. Bacca here for short.
Chewbacca the Tuck.
Chewbacca the Tuck. Yes.
the hairy tuck.
Yes, the hairy duck. I love it. I mean, obviously, you look freaking phenomenal. I do have one little question left for you, Miss Trinity, because as we know, Ru enjoys to ask finalists about what they would tell their younger selves. So since Trinity just turned 21, I was wondering if you had any information or anything that you would like to say to young Trinity about where you stand now.
So that picture, I was on tour with Andy Bell from Erasure. Me and my drag daughter, on Tilt Sparkles, that's how we met, is we were backup dancers for them. And that's where that image was from. So what I would just tell myself, especially back then, is just to keep going. Because this was before Drag Race, and I was traveling the world then with him. So I knew that was the direction that I needed to go in, but I would just tell myself to keep going because even better things are going to happen. And trust yourself, have confidence in yourself. That's the biggest thing we can just hope for ourselves, period. Things do get better, and the sooner that you believe in yourself and the sooner you trust yourself, the sooner things will start happening for you. You have to manifest it, and it will happen.
Oh, I love that. Oh, Trinity, you are so amazing. I'm so happy that you did this here with me. And I would love to know if you just had any last minute thing you wanted to say, anything you wanted to plug, any final words before, this fun little experience is all over.
You know, there's no rules to drag. Drag is supposed to be fun. I would just encourage anybody that is starting drag for the first time or just dabbling in it for fun to have fun with it and experiment with it. There's no rules. There's no right or wrong. Everybody starts somewhere. So just keep practicing until you get your drag where you want it to be. Don't listen to the haters. Listen to yourself. It's your art. As far as things that are coming up, I just actually did finish filming a TV show in London this past week. It's going to be a show for in the States. I can't tell you too much, but look for me on another TV show that is not Drag Race related very soon.
All right. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Miss Trinity. I really do appreciate that you took the time to do this. This was a super fun interview. I'm really excited to share all of your projects with the world, and I'm happy that I finally got to meet little Miss Bacca in here.
Miss Bacca.
Dollar store realness. And yes, she's part of the Tuck family, sort of, I guess. I haven't actually tucked, so I don't know if I could be part of Haus Tuck without the actual tuck, but
for everybody,
I will still call you as my drag mother because without you, this would not have happened.
Well, very nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and I hope to see you / meet you in person sometime soon. And I hope are you about to go to a show right now?
No, this is just you.
Oh my gosh.
Just for you.
Okay, specialty. All right.
Take this off, and then I will go pack because I leave early in the morning to go to a gig.
Okay, well, best of luck on your gig, and I will send you all the links to all the things as soon as everything's ready.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye, Trinity.
Bye-bye.